Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Janavallabha Jaya Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamunā Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamunā Tiravanachari Jaya Yamunā Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamunā Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamunā Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rāma, Hare Rāma, Rāma Rāma, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rāma, Hare Rāma, Rāma Rāma, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rāma, Hare Rāma, Rāma Rāma, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rāma, Hare Rāma, Rāma Rāma, Hare Hare. Jaya Kṛṣṇa Balarāma, Kṛṣṇa Balarāma, Kṛṣṇa Balarāma, Jaya Kṛṣṇa Balarāma. Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhesham, Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhesham. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Śrīla Prabhupada. Nitai go Haribo, 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 Nitai go Haribo. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotara Satashi Madhyavange Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Vishnupad Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Stotara Satashi Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it's Canto 10, Chapter 22, verses 33 to 38. We can chant 33 together. Okay. Aho eshang varang janma sarva pran yupa jivanam sujanas yeva yeshang vai vimukayanti nartanaha. Aho ishang varang janma sarva pranyupajivanam sujanas yeva yeshang vai vimukayanti nartanaha. Aho eshang varang janma sarva pranyupajivanam sujanas yeva yeshang vai vimukayanti nartanaha. Aho eshang varang janma sarva pranyupajivanam sujanas yeva yeshang vai vimukayanti nartanaha. Matajis? Then, O king, the cowherd boys began herding the animals in a leisurely way within a small forest along the Yamunā. But soon they became afflicted by hunger, and approaching Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, spoke as follows. Purport. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī explains that the cowherd boys were concerned that Krishna would be hungry. Thus they feigned their own hunger so that Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma would make suitable arrangements to eat. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 22nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled, Krishna Steals the Garments of the Unmarried Gopis. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Oh, the demigods are not happy. So this is a very incredible part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, expressing the pure love of all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Brajabhumi, and how Krishna, taking all his cowherd boyfriends, and very enthusiastically taking all the calves and cows and all the residents, Mother Yashoda, and all the elderly gopis, how they're feeling emotionally involved with Krishna in such a very high level. What to speak of the gopis, who are simple cowherd girls. So there's a demonstration. Krishna personally came to show what is his pastimes, what is his activities, what is that everyone is looking for, what is that rasa, that taste, that pleasure. Everyone is looking for some happiness or pleasure in life, looking for the right person, my husband, my wife forever, till death do us part, and we're bewildered, we're enamored by the scientific advancement, achievements, modern advancements of technology, going to the moon, going to Mars, but they have no solution for the repetition of birth and death. Ultimately, we're going to grow old, we're going to get diseased, and we're going to die. We're not speaking pessimistically or just in a very, trying to kill the buzz or the happiness that everyone's experiencing. But everyone in the material world is captivated by Maya, by the illusory energy. And that Maya means the bodily concept of life. That I was born in America, India, Russia, China. This is my family, this is my wife, my children. I have a sense of duty and responsibility. Arjuna is expressing very clearly that he didn't want to, get involved in this fight because he was very attached to family, attached to religious principles, attached to culture, what is right, what is wrong. But through the whole Bhagavatam, 10 cantos, is expressing the magnificence of Krishna, the creation, how Krishna created not only this universe, which is so phenomenal. You look at the stars in the sky, all these huge planets are floating in space, and the beauty of flowers and fruits, and just God's creation just so magnificent, but unlimited universes emanating from Krishna's body. Naturally atheistic persons who are envious and jealous of the Lord, they'll think, oh, these are so many stories. So many stories we're telling because, we have to make it sound good, attractive to go back to the spiritual world. And today's also a special day, Rupa Goswami's disappearance day. In a few days, but today we're celebrating in VIHE. But not only did Krishna come, and he appeared in Brajabhumi, Vrindavan, and brought all his associates with him, his friends, The cowherd girls are not ordinary women, or the cowherd boys are not just ordinary personalities. They perform great, so much punya, so much pious activities. So naturally, one who's intelligent is thinking, yes, if I follow religious principles, perform my duties, my sacrifices, my mantras, and different worships, then I'll get a good life, or a better life. I'll gain wealth, isn't it? Religiosity, economic development, and then sense gratification. I can enjoy this world. And those who are wealthy and born in good family, to think, what do I need God for? I have everything, okay, let the poor people pray to God. But who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. And there's no solution to that other than devotional service, other than surrender to Krishna. So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekang Sharanang Vraja Ahang Tvang Sarapapebhyo Mokshayashyami Masuchaha. So Krishna is instructing that give up all varieties of religion, get off the bodily platform, wake up, and surrender. But the surrendering process is difficult, very difficult, due to our attachment to the body, attachment to the extensions of the body, the family, and those who are more elevated to the nationality. Let me fight for motherland, or let me perform altruistic or philanthropic activities to help mankind, to help the animals, help the environment. These are all broad ideas and topics which are necessary. Obviously, we have to be conscientious to take care of the environment, to not allow the brutality of maintaining slaughterhouses and innocent animals being butchered, or what to speak of babies in the womb or being butchered. And people in general have no clarity as to what is the purpose and goal of life or how to achieve it. So Śrīla Prabhupada, under the authority of the Guru Parampara, just like Krishna, he performed these beautiful activities. He told Arjuna, Evang Parampara Praptang Yamang Rajarsha Yovedu, Sakalene Hamata Yoganashta Parantapa, that this yoga, the science of self-realization, has been handed down for millions of years to the great rulers, the emperors, the Rajarshis, the saintly kings, and all the saintly personalities have glorified. And if you, even historically speaking, you can see how India was all pervasive. Afghanistan, Tibet, Nepal, Sri Lanka, blah. India, at one time there was one government, meaning the Vedic culture thousands of years ago, and there was proper guidance and ruling. The intelligent class, Brahmanas, were the head to give proper guidance and instruction. What is a teacher? A teacher can't be a cheater. A teacher is one who's repeating the absolute truth which comes from Krishna. So one who's repeating the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam perfectly, he's a perfect messenger. He himself may be imperfect senses, sure to be illusion, tendency to make mistakes and cheating propensity, but one who's surrendered and repeating simply the words of the Supreme Lord through the Guru Parampara, he's giving perfect knowledge. So that science was lost. Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, not only speaking philosophy, but showing what is the highest love, what is the highest pleasure. The Gopis were enchanted. They waited for watching Krishna, with his smiling and playing his flute. They called the flute song, enchanting all the animals, enchanting all the cowherd boys and girls, the Braj Bhumi. He's the Lord of Vrindavan, and he wants to show what is the real life and the feelings and the emotions. Everyone, when you get excited about something or some relationship, they give various examples of a paramour, that although you may be married, but if you have a lover, there's a certain intensity. So our love for Krishna is very intense. This is why the perversion of lust is so intense in this material world, that even though you're 80, 90 years old, they're still going probably called the nudie clubs, and we're still trying to squeeze out some pleasure or happiness of this body, which is temporary. And the beauty, they say Krishna is attracted to the beautiful gopis, but the gopis are saying in a few days that's gone too, and expressing the limited time that the youth is available, that attractive, vibrant youth. It also, very quickly, everything starts sagging and falling and decomposing, and ultimately we have to leave this body, just like a torn shirt or torn clothing. After it's really raggedy and not wearable anymore, you discard it and get a new body according to your capacity to purchase. So karma daiva netrena. Everyone in this world is looking for happiness. Everyone is looking for the ultimate pleasures of life. And as a result, they're very active. And these activities which are being performed are causing further entanglement, further bodies, degradation to lower species, degradation to lower planetary system, the hellish planets. All religions talk about the hell and about the heaven. Okay, I want to go to heaven. But that's also temporary. We want to get out of the material universe and go back home to the spiritual kingdom. So in this particular chapter, it's described that the young gopis, girls, the unmarried girls, they're very enthusiastic to have Krishna as their husband. They don't want some mundane personality. You know, it's very rare, though, to have someone so clear as to what the purpose and goal of life. So they would hold hands and dance and sing about Krishna and his glories. And every day they would perform the puja to Katyayani. They describe it as Yogamaya. Katyayani was Yogamaya. Some say Durga. But the material energy, Maya Yakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, Krishna's potencies are controlling everything, everywhere. So many times people pray to the Shakti, to Kali, to Durga, to different Shakti energy, potency of the Lord, for some benefit in this world. But we're seeing how the gopis had no other benefit. They were not worshiping the goddess Katyayani for the purpose of some kind of wealth or some kind of happy family life. They just wanted Krishna as their husband. So you see to the extreme this particular Leela, unless one has gone through the different Bhagavatam, the creation, the incarnations of the Lord, the different personalities, great personalities who've wanted something but ultimately surrendered to the Lord, and their prayers indicate that my only desire is to awaken my love, my service to you in devotional service. And praying to Krishna, please allow me to serve your servant. So many examples throughout the Bhagavatam. Now in the 10th canto, we're hearing how the gopis were played with Krishna. He came and took all their garments, went up in the Kadamba tree. It was teasing them that, oh, you did a wrong thing, you're bathing naked and you're performing this Katyayani. So in order to be relieved of this offense to the demigods, you have to put your hands together and over your head and pray for forgiveness. So Krishna, you know, in our minds or in the minds of materialists, they're thinking, oh, Krishna is just, you know, having this kind of relationship. Everyone has these kind of relationships in this world of, you know, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and we think that there'll be happiness. But everything in this world, if it's not centered around Krishna, becomes selfish, and jealousy, envy comes in, and the bodily concept is just reinforced more and more. And the happiness is very flickering, very temporary happiness. It's not real happiness, because real happiness is our constitutional position. What's Krishna? Satchit Ananda Vigraha. He's eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge. What are we? Eternal, full of bliss, full of knowledge. But when we're encaged, when we're entrapped in the body, when we've developed a certain kind of mind and intelligence and ego due to many, many years of trying to figure out how to ultimately squeeze out the enjoyment, then this entrapment is going to keep us perpetually in this material world. Anyway, Krishna, he said, okay, you're fully surrendered to me, now do as I say. And although they were just happy and joking that Krishna's paying so much attention to us. He must also be attached. You know, Krishna's loving us. And many prayers are there from the Gopis are saying, oh, that beauty of Krishna, the flute playing of Krishna, he's wonderful. But no one should take shelter of Krishna because, you know, you can't depend on him. You know, he's off now to Mathura and Dwaraka and leaving us behind. And all these are various emotions. So every emotion we can think of is described in devotional service in its pure form. So that flute song, Goloker Premadan Harinam Sankirtan, is coming from the spiritual world in the form of the chanting of the Lord's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And so Krishna, as a parent, is always worried about their children, always again and again trying to give them the best they can give without them just wandering aimlessly and not eating properly or not behaving properly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came, and he again brought all his associates. Rupa Gosvāmī, Sanatana Gosvāmī, the 6 Goswamis are there. And so many transcendental personalities are named in the Chaitanya Leela. And all of them are from Krishna Leela. They're all eternal associates of the Lord. Obviously, the sadhana bhakti is very, very powerful because during Lord Ramachandra's appearance, many of the great saints and ascetics who were performing devotional service, but the mood was not proper at the time. But Lord Krishna, he assured them that you will again appear with me. And then during Krishna's appearance 5,000 years ago, they appeared as gopis and gopas and members of the Vrindavan community, which is the highest perfection. So that Rupa Goswami begins the nectar of instruction, Utsahan Nishchayat Daryat Tat Karma Pravartanat. That we need enthusiasm, we need determination, and really we have to give all our attention and our energy to developing the devotional qualities, not on our own, but by following the advice of all the great acharyas, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the Brihad Aranya Upanishad, something like that. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, kalua nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. There is no other way than chanting the holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya is calling us. He's introduced this wonderful nectar of chanting Krishna's name, whereas Krishna was demanding you surrender and I shall deliver you. I'll give you guidance. Sarvasya chahang hridisana vishto matat smriti jnana pohanang cha. Krishna's in our heart. He sees, oh, this devotee is surrendering. He wants to surrender. Srimati Radharani is helping, said, oh, this devotee, he's doing nicely. So Krishna's attracted by one who wants to take up the process and of finishing this material existence and awakening their love for Krishna. And this love can be awakened by thinking of Krishna. What did the gopis do? They were thinking of Krishna. They were remembering his pastimes, singing his glories, all the songs, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Yashomati Nandana, Brajavarunagara. And there's so many, even in Vibhavari Shesha, all the beautiful prayers and songs by all the Goswamis are glorification of Krishna and his pastimes with his devotees. We can enter into that pastime Leela by the mercy of Śrīla Prabhupada. Because without Śrīla Prabhupada taking the instruction of Rupa Goswami and the blessings of his spiritual master, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, impelled by the Guru Parampara, he came, Priti Viteyachayada Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Moranam, that this chanting of the Lord's holy name should be spread all over the world. So we're seeing how the trees, we heard yesterday a beautiful class by Maharaj about the mercy of the trees. They feel duty-bound under all difficult situations in the blazing heat. They're giving shade. In the cold, they're giving protection from the snow, and they give fruits, they give flowers, and it was described that so many usable, very necessary ingredients are coming from the trees as an example of dedicating themselves for the benefit of others. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is ordering everybody, that it's our duty, Bharata Bhumi Te Hoila Manushya Janma Jar Janma Sartaka Kori Kara Para Upakar, especially for all of those who are fortunate enough to take birth in Braja Bhumi. It's considered a very, very elevated birth because it's a Punya Bhumi. This is a very auspicious place where the Lord is appearing again and again, and so many great saintly persons appeared, and religious performances have been going on since time immemorial. But unfortunately, modern society, they want to make a United Nations, but there's more flags, Prabhupada says. I used to work in New York, Sankirtan, and every day go by the United Nations building and see so many flags, and they always increase more and more and more. But the real unity comes when everyone can see that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Arjuna came to that conclusion, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang Paramang Bhavang Purushang Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Not only not only Arjuna is accepting Krishna as the Supreme Lord, but he's saying Vyas, Devala, and all the great sages, Parasara, Muni, and then we have all the Upanishads, we have the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, and the purpose, Krishna is the knower of the Vedas. He compiled all this knowledge. What for? So that we can awaken the necessity of surrendering to Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spent 6 years traveling throughout India, preaching. The animals were dancing and chanting and meeting and defeating and converting the big impersonalists and Mayavadis, and establishing bhakti, establishing the importance of chanting the holy name, not just dry philosophical speculation or persons who are after karma kandya or gifts from the demigods, or so many ideas of, so many rivers, and once the river merges into the ocean, we all become one, we become God after some sort of meditation. All the foolish ideas which are not supported by the great acharyas. And just like the Goswamis, they gathered information from all the texts, and they were very highly elevated, very educated, erudite scholars in so many languages and high posts, and very wealthy, born in good families, although they had bad associations. So by their examples, we see that even if one, for some reason or other, no matter if he's born as a dog eater or in a Malecha family, if he takes up this process of devotional service, then he can actually be a candidate for reawakening his eternal loving. We're not the body. We're the eternal soul within the body. And then by studying and living in the association with devotees, you gain more strength and more determination, so we can give up our doubts, because with bad association with persons who are overly eager for sense gratification and maintaining the family unit and our nation, our country, let's kick these people out of our country, or, coming to America, where's your visa? How long you stay? 1 month. Okay. Prabhupada gives some examples that, the immigration department's always challenging, what are you going to do here? How long you'll stay? Okay, we'll give you 1 month, then get out. We forget that this is God's property, that we're all children of God. Jivera Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. We're all servants of Krishna. So for all those who are here, sitting in Sri Vrindavan Dham, listening to Srimad Bhagavatam class, we're just trying to repeat the words of the great acharyas, Srila Prabhupada. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he preached and traveled throughout India to establish, and then he instructed Rupa Gosvāmī 10 consecutive days, and And then Sanatana Goswami for quite some time, over a month. And it's not the duration, it's just that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave blessing to Rupa Goswami, he understood that Rupa Goswami knows the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to experience, what is that love that Srimati Radharani experiences towards me? How are the gopis so infatuated by Krishna? What's that beauty that's emanating from Krishna that the gopis are mad? They give up their families, they give up their tradition, they give up everything to be with Krishna. Like mad women and even the cowherd boys, they're not thinking this is God, this is Krishna, he's my lovable object. So that love, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to experience. Obviously, God, he can do whatever he likes, but to give us a taste, a little sample, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he was experiencing these emotions with Swarup Damodar, with Ramananda Roy, and it's not that some neophyte is going to try to understand many of the scholars and historians and logicians. They think that, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yeah, he was a saint, but he had some, disorders, he was acting a bit out of the ordinary. We try to see that people are normal. We have psychiatric hospitals for those that go beyond what is acceptable as normality. We have to put them in an institution. So we're in an institution because we don't fit in modern world. I mean, when they saw the devotees back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, shaven-headed, robes, and just chanting all day, they thought, these are madmen. These are crazy people. We have to deprogram them. They hired people to kidnap the devotees and try to deprogram them. No, you have to eat meat. You have to, be part of this world. Don't be escaping or becoming someone who's simply becoming a parasite, living at the expense of society and not doing anything practical. But Krishna consciousness is the greatest gift for all of humanity. For anyone who's chanting the holy name of the Lord, who's preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, who's living the life of all my activities are meant for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay? Why you get up in the early morning? Because it's most conducive to spiritual life. You bathe, you put on mantras on your body, remembering Krishna. You come and sing the glories of the Guru, because the Guru is Krishna. He's not different than Krishna. He is giving guidance, he's giving shelter. Prabhupada taught us how to eat, how to be clean, and how to utilize our time and energy for developing our Krishna consciousness. But in every community it's difficult, because even in families, you see families are always fighting and troublesome, especially brothers and sisters and family members. They always have some kind of fight or quarrel. So we see in our new society, ISKCON is relatively new in the sense that 50 years old, it's still an infant, but we have the strength of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and sometimes devotees would question Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, when you're gone, how will we be guided? Are you also in our heart giving us guidance like the Super Soul? Śrīla Prabhupada said, everything is in my books. So the emphasis recently from senior GBC and other senior people is that we need to spend more time and energy hearing the books, because Prabhupada, he very boldly declared that Krishna wrote the books. I didn't write the books. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj said, I'm old. Everything is not nothing's working. It's only a miracle that I'm writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in the very beginning, he gave various synopsis, summary of Madhya Lila, Antya Lila, because he was fearful in his old age that he may not be capable of fulfilling his duty, which he was ordered by Madan Mohan and Govindaji, to give the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Śrīla Rupa Goswami. All this is not somebody's fabrication. These are factual activities which took place, which are recognized in the scripture. Krishna, Varnam, Tasyā, Krishnam, Sango, Pangastra, Parshadam, Jagnai, Sankirtam, Prayar, Yajanti, Hi, Sumedasaha. That's in Srimad Bhagavatam, written 5,000 years ago, describing how the Lord will appear again 500 years ago, just yesterday, and how his teaching is one of awakening or giving Krishna consciousness in a very merciful way, because the rigor and austerity of living an ashram life and performing tapasya and sacrifice is not easy. We can hardly take a cold shower, let alone anything else. So to perform austerities in this age is very difficult. It truly is. Even Lord Chaitanya is saying, I don't have an attraction for the holy name, even though it's invested with all the power, I don't. But still, follow the direction of the Guru Doctor, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakya, Atmanavedanam. Then the mind will get controlled. Abhaya Charanara Bajahure Mana Shri Nanda Nandana. That if we're meditating on Nanda Nandana Krishna, we're meditating on the loving exchanges with the Gopas and Gopis, and the beauty of Krishna and the beauty of the spiritual world and the opportunity to live in the eternal kingdom with Krishna, then that should be, we should aspire for that. And sometimes, as the difficulties are there in the family, we have to mature. We have to try to be broad-minded, because my outlook may be different than your outlook, and everybody has their outlook in life. But the guidance to bring us back on track is Prabhupada's books. The more we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we hear nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many teachings of Queen Kunti, Lord Kapila Dev. I know that there are many books of the Goswamis, and I'm sure there's wonderful, very deep realization, manifestation of the loving affairs of the Gopis, of Krishna. But we have to be ready and mature enough to understand. And Srila Prabhupada, he's taking, so much nectar is there in Bhagavatam. Nectar of devotion is full. Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of the loving sentiment and attitude of selfless surrender of the Gopis and appreciation of Krishna. So until, like Lord Brahma studied the Vedas 3 times thoroughly, so we should study all of Srila Prabhupada's books, what to speak of his lectures. There's also beautiful flavor in his lectures, if not only hearing, but also you can read the text, Prabhupada's lectures in reading form. And I feel this will give us the determination and strength which is necessary to overcome the bad qualities of Kali Yuga, and also our own shortcomings will be rectified. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat yakinchana savar gunaistatra samasatesura. That the demigods have good qualities because they're servants of the Lord. They're serving the Lord with love. So anyone who takes up the process of devotional service, and the process is chanting the Lord's holy name, will develop naturally all the good qualities of Krishna, of the demigods. So make sure we chant enthusiastically with determination in a humble mood. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rāma, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pray to the Lord to give us the strength necessary to carry out the duty. And we're obligated to our spiritual master. He saved our lives, isn't it? Someone who's entangled, who's imprisoned in the material world, what to speak of material prison, and then someone releases you from prison, you feel indebted, isn't it? So we're all in prison. We're all imprisoned in this Kali Yuga. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is releasing those chains that Maituniagara, the shackle of lust, the shackle of greed, the shackle of envy and jealousy, by giving us Srimad Bhagavatam by giving us Sri Vrindavan Dham and the opportunity to render devotional service. So Lord Indra is happy. He's sending rain to nourish all our plants, and we get nice fruits and flowers. And the rain will cleanse us of any dirt and contamination, so we become pure-hearted. But it's possible. Prabhupada often said, just take up this process, chant this Maha Mantra, follow the rules and regulations, go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Any one or two questions? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So just looking back at that point we were making about Rupa Goswami's disappearance in the VIHE. So what is the most important thing to do on Rupa Goswami's disappearance day? Do you have any ideas or suggestions?
Generally, when we're honoring a great personality, it's good to hear about them and the contribution. Rupa Goswami contributed. He's like Lord Chaitanya himself speaking, because Lord Chaitanya empowered Rupa and Sanatan to re-establish devotional service. So when we hear about Rupa Goswami's glorious activities and also the essence of his teachings, the realizations of those who are following his teachings, it inspires us and it heightens our appreciation of great personalities, which ultimately makes Krishna happy. By serving the Vaishnavas, the devotees, by having that mood of respect and reverence. You know, all disciples respect their guru, but Rupa Goswami is our guru. Sanatana Goswami is our guru. So on these days in particular, when we hear Bhakti Vinod Thakur or Jiva Goswami, the various great saintly personalities, the best thing to do is hear about them and also recite what they've given to us for our benefit. Okay. Another question? Any more questions? Prabhuji, and then I gotta read something. Yes. What was that? I didn't hear exactly the... My activities? Oh. Well, I was in Florida, New Ramanreti, which is, they also have Gorni Thai, Radha Shyamasundar, and Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. And besides swimming every day in my pool, I was going to the program where devotees are chanting and dancing, gave a few classes, and every day participate in the kirtan. I thought that the best we can do is follow Prabhupada's regimen. Morning program, Guru Puja, worshiping the Guru, chanting in Harinam. How much Harinam do we do? If you see, I'm also reading another book, a biography of Ayendra Prabhu that's going to be coming out. But if you see back in the late 60s, early 70s in particular, up to mid 70s, every day devotees are going out chanting, and Harinam and Sankirtan is very, very prominent. It may have died down due to various reasons, but we should never neglect the chanting of the holy name. Sometimes I see devotees say, hey, come on, get in the kirtan and dance, right? So that's all. Just spending some time asking my grandsons, what are the two rules? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. What are the four miseries of life? Birth, old age, disease, and death. And if Krishna wants to protect you, no one can kill you. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can protect you. And how is all that accomplished? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I was doing that, and I'm back here in Vrindavan by Krishna's grace. Prabhuji, one more question. I hope I answered it correctly for you. Microphone? Give it to Prabhu. So also today at 1 p.m., there will be a special talk by His Grace Gunarnava Prabhu. He was an early president here when Prabhupada was here helping to build the Kṛṣṇa Balarāma, who established Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala under the order and guidance of Srila Prabhupada himself. The class will be broadcast on temples and Goshala's Facebook and YouTube channels. More information on the Goshala board at the side of the temple. They can see the links for Facebook and YouTube channels on the poster. Hearing more about Vrindavan and taking care of Gomata. Gunarnava Prabhu, very wonderful Vaishnava. So if you take the opportunity to hear that, it'd be very nice.
You say, not you, everyone, not only you, everyone says that every single appears from holy name. And holy name is only one way to understand your relationship with Krishna. But also Srila Prabhupada says that all the devotional service is equal. Like there is no difference between any devotional service, Kārayantaḥ and vibing of the temple. So, but how to understand this?
So Prabhu is making the point that all devotional service is equal, whether you're bathing the deities, dressing the deities, cleaning the floor, you're on Sankirtan, you're cooking for the devotees. So many activities, they're all equally important. But it's like the underlying factor, it seems like the formula for the strength to carry on your service is this chanting of Krishna's holy name, because although the cleansing, this is also Harinam, glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam is also considered Harinam, but still, we don't want to take things out of proportion. Everything is very, very important, but the holy name alone is like the backbone. You know, the backbone holds the whole body together in such a way that it doesn't just fall on the ground, okay? So the chanting of the Lord's holy name is the backbone of your devotional service. You must do other things because the mind is so busy and active, the body has to be used in the service of Krishna. But that backbone of the Lord's holy name will give you strength to carry on your service in a better way, with humility. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.